As the brand's first entrant in the ever-expanding SUV market, the Jaguar F-PACE is a critical car for the British market. It enters the premium crossover arena as a rival to some impressive machines, taking on the Audi Q5, BMW X3 and Mercedes-Benz GLC, but unlike products from sister company Land Rover, it's been built with more of a sporty road driving bias that calls the Porsche Macan's talents into question. Striking design, familiar engineering based on the same lightweight architecture that underpins two of Jaguar's saloon models, the X and the XF, the F-PACE boasts both performance and efficiency. Grabbing the low running costs headlines is the 2.0-litre 163 horsepower diesel rear-wheel drive model matched with a manual gearbox, with official figures of 59.2 miles per gallon and CO2 emissions of 126 grams/km. Although it's the slowest in the range, requiring 10.2 seconds to complete the 0 to 62 miles per hour benchmark sprint. The more powerful 180 horsepower version of the same engine, called 20D, with a smooth shifting automatic, feels less of a compromise. The 0 to 62 miles per hour sprint takes 8.5 seconds, yet Jaguar still claims 55.4 miles per gallon and 129 grams/km of CO2. Flashing the range out are a 240 horsepower twin-turbo edition of the same diesel, badge 25D, and a 2.0-litre petrol, 25 tons and 30 tons, with 250 horsepower and 300 horsepower respectively. If your budget can stretch to one of the 3.0-litre V6s, then you'll appreciate the extra refinement as well as speed. The 300 horsepower diesel requires 6.2 seconds for the 0 to 62 miles per hour dash. The 380 horsepower supercharged petrol just 5.5 seconds. The downside of the latter is an eye-watering 31.7 miles per gallon official average. And its talents don't stop there. It's great to drive, with a chassis capable of juggling between enthusiastic cornering, fantastic ride quality and, despite all that, impressive off-road ability thanks to tech borrowed from Land Rover, coupled to an intelligent all-wheel drive system. Large, tech-filled cabin. No rivals can match the Jaguar when it comes to making the cabin feel sporty. It's been designed to make you feel a part of the driving experience, with a high shoulder line despite its lofty driving position. While the build quality is fine, the richness of the plastics used for the interior lags behind its key rivals, especially the Audi. There are too many hard surfaces and the switchgear isn't blessed with the same level of well-damped satisfaction. We are impressed with the tech on offer, though. Jaguar's InControl Touch Pro multimedia system is a significant leap over the firm's earlier offerings and represents a big step forward in terms of its responsiveness. In-car, Wi-Fi along with a number of apps, are on hand to make best use of the car's systems, while other clever features include an activity key, a waterproof, wearable car key, and a powered tailgate, which is standard on all models. The boot itself is huge and there's plenty of room in the cabin as well, with rear headroom only slightly impeded for taller passengers if you've got a panoramic roof installed. You can even have reclining rear seats installed as an optional extra for another touch of luxury. While the F-PACE boasts the capacity to use alloys up to 22 inches in diameter, we'd suggest you steer clear. It's a comfier car on 20 inches and we reckon the car handles better with them, particularly if you opt for the adaptive suspension system. The verdict: the Jaguar F-PACE SUV is a stylish and sporty alternative to more rational family off-roaders like the Audi Q5 or Mercedes-Benz GLC. It's great to drive, and if you pick one of the 3.0-litre engines, boasts an exciting amount of power to contrast the generous interior space and comfort. Rivals offer a better interior finish, but that's the only nit we can pick in this talented and handsome SUV. Read the full Jaguar F-PACE SUV review to find out why the brand's first crossover is such a hit. Broad range of petrol and diesel engines, rear and all-wheel drive permutations. V6 engines provide the most performance for a brand synonymous with performance. It's no surprise that each of the Jaguar F-PACE's 3 diesel and 2 petrol engines are turbocharged or supercharged. Lower-powered diesels are available with a manual gearbox and rear-wheel drive, but further up the range an automatic transmission and all-wheel drive are standard. The auto's changes are so smooth they're barely perceptible, and the F-PACE doesn't struggle deciding which ratio to pick, a problem on some rivals' gearboxes. Economical diesel choices. The majority of F-PACEs you see on the road are powered by versions of the 4-cylinder Ingenium family of turbocharged diesels. Entry point is the 2.0-litre 163 horsepower version, exclusively paired with a 6-speed manual and rear-wheel drive. Heralded as the F-PACE's efficiency champion, with claims of up to 59.2 miles per gallon and CO2 emissions of 126 grams/km. Needless to say, this is the slowest model in the lineup, with a top speed of 121 miles per hour and, despite 380 Newton-meters of torque available from 1,750 revolutions per minute, a 0 to 62 miles per hour time of 10.2 seconds. Offering more urgency is the 180 horsepower version of the same engine, Badge 20D. It's still rear-wheel drive as standard, but now with the slick 8-speed automatic. An increase in torque to 430 Newton-meters sees the 0 to 62 miles per hour time dip to 8.5 seconds. While top speed's a little higher at 129 miles per hour, we found this motor to be perfectly adequate and, considering its running costs are so much lower than the V6 powerplants on offer, there isn't much reason to go elsewhere unless you want to pick one of the higher trims. Pity it doesn't sound particularly inspiring. If you need the extra traction afforded by all-wheel drive, the 20D AWD is available with both manual and automatic transmissions. Both have 129 miles per hour top speeds and require 8.7 seconds for the 0 to 62 miles per hour dash, but the manual offers marginally lower running costs. That same basic 4-cylinder diesel also features in the 25D AWD, but is now twin-turbocharged for 240 horsepower and 500 Newton-meters of torque for a linear power delivery from 1,500 revolutions per minute. It's appreciably quicker with a 0 to 62 miles per hour time of 7.2 seconds and a top speed of 135 miles per hour. Topping the diesel range is the twin-turbo 3.0-liter V6 fitted to the 30D AWD. Admittedly, this is a nicer unit to drive, primarily because along with its 300 horsepower it boasts a massive 700 Newton-meters of torque from 1,500 revolutions per minute. That means 0 to 62 miles per hour in 6.2 seconds, significantly quicker, and thanks to the pair of extra cylinders it sounds better as well. It's smoother to drive and has a slightly more purposeful burble, though it's not exactly F-type levels of sonorous sound. Top speed is 150 miles per hour. Trio of petrol-powered options. If you don't cover the kind of annual mileage to warrant a diesel, then one of the 3 petrol choices for the F-PACE may appeal. First up is a turbocharged 2.0-liter, 4-cylinder slightly confusingly badged 25 tons AWD. Not only does it come with all-wheel drive, an automatic gearbox is also standard. There's 250 horsepower on tap, although at 365 Newton-meters at 1,200 revolutions per minute it's the least torquey of the range. Top speed is 135 miles per hour, while the 0 to 62 miles per hour test is dispatched in a brisk 6.8 seconds. It'd be easy to discount this engine in the face of the larger, more refined 6-cylinder option, but it's actually quite strong, revving cleanly to 6,500 revolutions per minute and offering a quieter cabin on the move than you get in the diesel range. Despite its turbocharged nature, this engine's power delivery is very smooth and the throttle pedal is nicely responsive so long as you keep the revs up, otherwise it is a little flat. Our only complaint is that it never really feels particularly quick, and the automatic gearbox hesitates on up and down shifts when you're pressing on. The middle ground is inhabited by the 3.0 tons engine, again available as an AWD auto only, but boasting a bit more power than the 25 tons. Here you get 300 horsepower and 400 Newton-meters of torque, the latter coming in at higher revs than the lower output engine, at 1,500 revolutions per minute, which means 0 to 62 miles per hour takes just 6 seconds. There isn't much of an economy penalty to pay for this engine, but it costs a bit more to buy in the first place for only a marginal performance gain. Ultimate F-PACE performance comes from the supercharged 3.0-liter V6. A unit lifted directly from the F-Type and makes 380 horsepower with torque of 450 Newton-meters. Just 5.5 seconds are required for the 0 to 62 miles per hour, while top speed is 155 miles per hour. It sounds the part too, with a purposeful growl at low speeds making way for a bellowing wail when you wring its neck. Acceleration is instant and ferocious. We just wonder how long it'll be before the supercharged V8 engine inevitably finds its way under the bonnet. If you're considering towing with the Jaguar F-PACE, brake towing weights start at 2,000 kilograms for 2.0-liter manual cars, rising to 2,400 kilograms for all other models. One of the sportiest SUVs to drive. Confidence-inspiring steering setup feels more composed on the smaller wheels. The F-PACE is an incredibly accomplished drive regardless of specification. It manages this through a clever set of chassis components that work in harmony to provide a rear-wheel drive character for the most part, only diverting up to half the available torque to the front wheels when the car senses it's required. We found this system uncanny in its performance, with Jaguar's first SUV genuinely capable of driving as well as anything in the class short of a Porsche Macan, and the latter isn't quite as big or comfortable. There's a titanic amount of grip on offer. No matter how quickly you corner, we doubt you'll test the extremities of the wide tires adhesion. It seems to drive better if you avoid the 22-inch wheels optionally available, and the F-PACE's composure is more apparent with the taller sidewalls you get on smaller wheels. We found 20-inch items to be ideal, with cheaper tires to replace too. Its steering is finely honed, with enough feedback to inspire confident cornering and weighting that feels natural in all situations. The handling balance is great too, which further adds to the assured nature of the F-PACE. It always feels solid and composed, valuable peace of mind for the sorts of families who will buy this car. The only variable in this sense is the 4-cylinder petrol engine, because it's lighter than the 6-cylinder petrol and all of the diesels. Although the 25 tons and 30 tons units are not the punchiest, they lend the F-PACE a much keener rate of turn-in. Cars fitted with the optional adaptive dynamic suspension package ride with greater poise than the standard setup, particularly when fitted with larger wheels. If your budget stretches to it, go for this option. You get Land Rover's terrain response system on all-wheel drive cars, called adaptive surface response in the F-PACE's case, which adapts the way the drivetrain and stability control systems work together to optimize the car for the sort of surface you're driving on. Off-road in the Jaguar F-PACE. We've driven this SUV on the rough stuff and can confirm it's extremely capable, tackling far tougher terrain than Porsche dared to subject the Macan to when it was launched. You'd expect that, frankly, because don't forget this is the same organization that builds the Land Rovers that lead the field in this respect. You don't get quite as many off-road-centric features on the road-biased Jaguar, but you could hardly call it lacking either. We were particularly impressed with the all-surface progress control, ASPC, system, which acts like cruise control for off-road driving. Set it to any speed up to 19 miles per hour and it'll take care of the car's speed for you, leaving you to operate the steering. Cabin is stylish and well-assembled. Material quality feels inferior to rivals, though In Control Touch Pro multimedia system impresses at first glance. The Jaguar F-PACE's cabin looks like a very smart place to be. The front seat occupants are circled by the same high shoulder line, the Rever hoop in Jaguar speak, seen in the X, but this is a bigger car and so it feels like it works better here. It's less claustrophobic and helps the driver to feel more ensconced in the experience of driving. What disappoints is that the quality of some of the materials feels lacking for a car this expensive, with some frankly cheap plastics dotted about. It doesn't affect the whole cabin. There are expanses of soft leather and well-damped switchgear, but it doesn't reek of being as expensive as its rivals. It's easy to find a good driving position thanks to highly adjustable seats and a steering wheel that moves in 4 directions. We were particularly impressed with the In Control Touch Pro touchscreen multimedia system. Jaguar has used a far more responsive screen and it's a joy to use. But while the computers behind the scenes have more memory and processing power, they still take a little while to get going on initial fire-up. You have to wait a few moments before you're able to enter navigation instructions, for example. Refined interior ambience isolates passengers. Larger engines still burble into the cabin. Avoid larger wheels to maximize comfort. In general, this is an area where the F-PACE excels. It's a brilliantly engineered chassis and you're well insulated from the elements within the cabin. There isn't a huge amount of engine or road noise, though you'll definitely hear that V6 petrol engine sing, and actually it's a particularly serene place to be. Not only would we suggest you think very carefully about the size of alloy wheels you choose to order with your F-PACE, the 22-inch items with their lower profile tires don't offer the same ride comfort or composure enjoyed on smaller rim sizes. We would recommend the optional adaptive suspension system to maximize comfort. High levels of standard kit across the range all have electric seats, DAB radio and alloy wheels. Wide range of pricey options to choose from. There are 4 levels of trim hierarchy in the F-PACE range that follow Jaguar's current conventions of Prestige, R Sport, Portfolio and S. Standard Jaguar F-PACE SUV equipment. Even at the entry point of the trim structure, the Prestige has got a lot of kit on offer. Starting with the cabin, You get 8-way adjustable heated leather front seats along with an automatically dimming rear view mirror, dual zone climate control, manual steering wheel reach and rake adjustment, 40 hours 20 minutes 40 seconds split rear seats, 3 12-volt power sockets and 2 USBs. Infotainment is taken care of using Jaguar's in-control touch sat-nav system, which features an 8.0-inch touchscreen along with the corresponding Connect pack, meaning Wi-Fi as well as a suite of apps to enhance your car's connectivity to the internet. Bluetooth and DAB radio are standard too, and sound is fed through an 80-watt speaker system. Exterior features on the lowest spec F-PACE include 18-inch alloy wheels, halogen headlights, LED tail lamps, automation for the lights and wipers, roof rails and a powered boot lid. Front and rear parking sensors feature as well. Moving up to R Sport trim adds the following to prestige models: 19-inch alloys, sports perforated front seats, special R Sport front and rear bumpers, xenon headlights with washer jets, an R Sport multifunction steering wheel, metallic sports pedals, a black headliner and chrome finishing for the central console surround. You can also make the jump from prestige to portfolio, which means different 19-inch wheels along with 10-way luxury leather seats, the Jaguar Leaper logo embossed on the headrests, a heated front screen, a panoramic glass sunroof, xenon headlamps with washer jets, a 380-watt Meridian sound system, a rear-view camera and premium carpet mats. A step up from R Sport is S, which comes with the choice of petrol or diesel 3.0-litre V6S and nets you adaptive suspension, 20-inch alloys, performance brakes, sports leather perforated seats, a heated front screen and washer jets, power folding door mirrors, keyless entry, the Meridian sound system mentioned above and a rear view camera. Optional Jaguar F-PACE SUV accessories. There's an enormous range of optional extras you can specify to personalize your F-PACE more to your liking, but be conscious of how quickly the costs can escalate. You can specify from a wide palette of metallic paints, interior color schemes and alloy wheels up to 22 inches in diameter. Nighttime visibility can be improved with the available fully adaptive LED headlamps, while occupants will be able to see out even better with a choice of fixed and opening panoramic glass roofs. Even more cosseting electrically adjustable sports and luxury front seats can be fitted, the latter with winged headrests, while comfort's further amplified by the 4-zone climate control option. A Meridian audio system upgrade is available for the multimedia system, as is a television function with a dual-view touchscreen to allow the passengers to watch it while the driver sees the sat-nav. Wearable tech makes an appearance with the activity key, a rubberized wristband that enables keyless entry without having to find somewhere to hide it securely when you go wakeboarding. Of all of the options, the one we'd recommend the most strongly is the adaptive suspension system, especially if you do intend to have the larger alloys fitted. Ride quality will improve significantly with this extra. 5-star rating when tested by Euro NCAP. Lots of contemporary driver assistance kit. Many F-PACEs feature 4-driven wheels. When the F-PACE was crash tested by Euro NCAP at the end of 2017, it achieved a full 5-star score. This wasn't a surprise given the Jaguar's safety kit ensemble is impressive, even in base prestige trim. Standard systems include lane departure warning, autonomous emergency braking, traffic sign recognition, including an intelligent speed limiter, front and rear parking sensors, keyless ignition, whiplash protection for front seats and ISOFIX child seat lashing points in the rear. Plus, let's not forget, this is an SUV, so all models benefit from a more commanding view of the road ahead than you'll experience in one of Jaguar's traditional saloons, and all-wheel drive is fitted to many models in the range. Sporty and luxurious with a nod to practicality, enormous boot seats up and down. Getting into the back requires agility. The cabin features a number of storage spaces including door pockets with space for large bottles, while the central storage cubby is large and houses USB and 12-volt connections along with HDMI connections where specified as optional extras. You've got the option of reclining rear seats as well, adding further luxury for your passengers. We found access to the rear a tiny bit cumbersome because of the huge wheel arches, but there's plenty of headroom for 4 occupants to sit in comfort. The Jaguar F-PACE is quite a bit longer and taller than a normal hatchback, so it'd be well worth measuring your garage or driveway to make sure it'll fit. That said, it's smaller than a 7-seat SUV like the Audi Q7 or Mercedes-Benz GLS. The Jaguar F-PACE has been built with practicality in mind, and it shows. It has a 650-litre boot accessed via a standard powered tailgate and rear seats that fold almost, but not quite, flat in a 40 hours 20 minutes 40 seconds split, which means you are able to load longer items of up to 1.8 meters into the car. A pair of skis shouldn't be an issue, for example. Its load space expands to a total of 1,740 liters with the rear seats folded, while the boot floor is reversible and rubberized on one side for easy cleaning after loading sports equipment or pets.